Hey guys, can you hear me? I see Tracy's in the chat. Tracy, can you hear me? Am I coming in good? Can you guys hear me? Hey Ryan. Do I have sound? All right, good deal. I'm gonna wait just a few minutes. I've got an encounter that I've been waiting on for a while, and it finally came in. I'm awake, Hoosier, barely, but I'm awake. But I've got a fascinating encounter, and I've been waiting a while. I got permission to share it finally, and I'm gonna have to do it this way. I tried to record it, and twice I had issues. Hey, Susan and Candace, good to see everybody. But having trouble trying to get the video up, to get the encounter out. I hit the do not disturb function on the phone, and it did not allow any calls to come through. But while they were ringing in the background, it would silence the audio, and the video was it was horrible. And I tried twice, and roughly 25 minutes long each time. It wasn't worth posting, so I'm going to do it live to make sure that I get it out. So Cal, my brother, oh, there's Daniela. I'm glad you guys are here. I've got to use the trusty water nozzle to get the goats back because they'll eat the camera. Look out, guys. I'm not hosing them down. They're scared of the water. But this encounter was from a dear friend of mine. He's like a brother, and he also lives in Florida, down near the Ocala area. And hey, Matt and Deb, Bama Bigfoot, everybody's here. Good deal. But this encounter he had has wrecked his life. The same thing that I went through and many of you guys went through. And once you have a close-up encounter with one of these things, it leaves a scar on you that doesn't go away. Oh, wow. Candace, no, Elizabeth, I'm not monetized. I don't like the commercials, the advertisements. Hold on, buddy. I got this fella here trying to hop up on the platform with me. No, you back up. You back up. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to... They're like little children. I got to keep them away. But no, I didn't want to monetize. I didn't want my viewers to watch a video when there's commercials and everything. The advertisements, they can be really aggravating. Sorry about the background noise. We're pretty close to the highway. I don't know what that was. But anyhow, I don't want my videos going up and having commercials throughout the video. It really makes it rough to watch them. There's a few channels that Dan, I don't know what that was. It sounded like a blown tire on a vehicle. But some of the videos I used to watch a lot, the channels, they monetized, and they didn't put 3 or 4 ads in their video. They'd have a half-hour video, and they'd have 15 or 16 advertisements. Come on, buddy, you got to get down. Come on, Goomba, get down, buddy. The goats that come up, they'll bite my camera if I let them get up here with me. But anyhow, I got this encounter. Looks like we got 43 people in here right now. And I'm going to read this encounter to you live. And you'll probably get to witness how many times I do mess up when I'm reading them. Tracy, I wish I had YouTube Premium. These goats are getting the best of us right now. Hey, Diane and Sharon. Good to see everybody. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you for your support. I mean, you guys are what makes the channel what it is. But before I share this encounter with you, I need to give thanks to some people. I believe you always give thanks where thanks is due. And it's not always our Lord and Savior that you thank. There's many people, many of our friends and family that need to be thanked. And I'm not going to read last names of anybody. Those of you guys that have helped us in one way or the other, you know who you are. And I just want to put the names out there just to give thanks to y'all. These people have went above and beyond, and because of them, the goats have came out ahead. I've come out ahead. Everything's worked great. And you guys know about Jeff. Jeff contributed a really nice GoPro 8 camera, the GoPro 8 Black, and I absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. No, Johnny, my last name is not Standing. It's Miller. But anyhow, we had Mark from Livewire. He donated some game cams for me to put around the house. They finally arrived today, and so they'll be going up to keep these things away from our home. And if y'all don't know who Mark is, his channel is Livewire on YouTube, and I highly recommend y'all going over there and checking him out. Subscribe and give him a thumbs up, like his videos, share them. It's those things are what help us advance in YouTube, and it does a lot for us. And Mark is an amazing man, and he has went through the ringer with these creatures, and he's found a way to beat him, to get him out of his property. And I highly recommend him. I love the man. He's amazing. And I'm busy. I'm busy more than I'm asleep for certain. But when I get a few minutes free time, I'll jump over and I'll check out Mark on Livewire and Daniela on Hidden Existence. I love popping in and seeing what they're doing. I stay so busy, it's hard for me to watch a video in the daytime. And at night, I'm so exhausted by the time I'm done, I want to put my head on the pillow. But I want to give honor and thanks to these people, Tracy and Michelle, Diane, Gordon, Michael, Lisa, Jeff, and Mark. And if I miss somebody, please let me know. Comment or email me at standinggoatsrescue@outlook.com and let me know. And I want to make it right. I want to give thanks to everybody. You guys deserve it. And you guys that have prayed for us, thank you tremendously. They're such a powerful tool. And there's so much we can accomplish through a single prayer. But I want to share this encounter with you right quick, just in case something happens and a meteorite hits the phone or something goes wrong. And this man, to give you a little background, I know him quite well. He and I are bonded spiritually. He is very Christ-like. He's very spiritual. He believes in our Lord and Savior. He is a praying man. He and his family, they're wonderful people. And I've been talking to him for a while about getting his story out. And just like me and many of you guys, you try to share your encounters, even with your own family. And not trying to hurt your feelings, but sometimes they make jokes of it. And it's not a joke. It's not a pun. There's nothing laughable in having an encounter. And he held it in for 30 years. He's never let it out. And it has wrecked him emotionally, spiritually. I mean, these things tear you up inside. You can't hold it in. And the more of us that have these encounters and come forward with it, the higher our chances are of warning those that know nothing about them and the people that don't believe they're real. I've got a lot of rude comments personally from people, and all you can do is pray for those folks and bless them and thank them for revealing who they truly are. But I wish them on nobody. I hope nobody has a bad one. I can't say all these creatures are bad. I'm sure there's a lot of good ones. There's been reports of good ones, rescuing children, and there's been a lot of amazing stories shared about them. But my one bad encounter ruined it for me, and I don't like none of them. And it's just my personal opinion. It's how I feel about it. And my brother here, who sent this encounter to me, he feels the same way. And if we were intended to walk hand in hand with these things, our Creator would make that happen. He would line it up to where it would happen. But I'm going to go ahead and carry on. I was going to read just his encounter, and he honored me when he sent me this email, and I printed it up to where I wouldn't have to do a split frame or I couldn't hardly read it, which I'm going to have to wear my glasses anyway. But I'm going to share this with you, and I think you guys are going to find it interesting. Some of y'all may get a little aggravated with how things happened, and everybody's entitled to your own opinion. That's the beauty of free will, and God gave us all free will. We can choose what we like and what we don't. We could choose what we do and what we don't do, and that's a wonderful thing. But I'm gonna go ahead and start with this, and I'm sorry if I'm ignoring the comments. I can't do multiple things at once. I'm sorry about that. I'll come back and watch it later and see the comments you guys have left. But my brother who sent this, he's watching from the sidelines, from his home. He won't be responding to anybody. We're leaving him anonymous for obvious reasons. But he will be reading what you guys post in the chat and what you post in the video comment section afterwards. So just please be kind to him. He's a Christian man. He's been through a lot. He's older than I am. He's wiser. He's been through a lot more than what I've been through. But he's also been through some amazing things. So enough with the prelude. I'm going to go ahead and start with it. And he starts out, he says, "There is a great God-fearing man for whom I want to express my extreme admiration and respect. He listened and believed a complete stranger, and now I am so fortunate to have his friendship and to call him my brother. I'm speaking of Donnie from Standing Goats Rescue. Thank you for always being a true believer. You alone have become a pillar of strength for all of us who for years have been afraid to speak out about our encounters because of ridicule from those who do not believe. Only with your belief in me, and for the first time since my very own encounter that occurred 30 years ago, I have the confidence to share something so life-changing for the first time." And here's where the encounter starts. He's going to give you a little bit of a beginning, a little bit of a history to where you understand who he is. And it's just brief. You don't want to give out too many details. He's got a pretty extensive history, a good history, but it would certainly, you would know who he is if you know anything about a lot of the stuff he was involved in. So he put the basic down, and he says, "For as far back as I can remember, my father and I loved to hunt. Of course, as a man, the woods become my place of not just fun, but it was my place of solitude and relaxation before and after work. I really did work to hunt those wild boars and especially white-tailed deer. As a young man, like most, I had no fear. If I was not hunting, I was a member of the PRCA. My main and favorite event amongst roping was bull riding. I live above the Okeechobee Lake, closer to the Gulf of Mexico, in the small town of Miaca, Florida. My work involved working very close with farmers in my county and other counties as well. I became good friends with the farmers in my county, and in conversations, they knew how much I loved hunting. So much to my luck, they asked if I would help them get rid of the damage the wild boars were causing. It was really a dream come true. I had hundreds of acres to hunt, all to myself. For these large hunts, I would use my dogs. And man, those dogs were my pride. The farmers did not like the idea of me hunting for deer, except for one. Deep in the woods on this man's farmland is a very old graveyard, and I noticed that the deer in this area acted so weird. Not full moon weird, a different weird. Actually, this caught me off guard. Never in my years have I ever witnessed deer act the way these deer did. They darted their heads about like crazy, and they even looked crazy, and they ran around so fast. Every time I would head that way, I was telling myself, I'm getting one tonight. But those deer were just crazier than ever, and I couldn't grasp a rational explanation for this behavior. One day, a friend of mine had stopped by, and he was aware of the area I was allowed to deer hunt, and he asked me if I found the old graveyard. And I said, yes, I had. I also mentioned how weird the deer acted. He just smiled at me, and then he warned me to be careful. And I asked him, what do you mean? Again, with this smirk and a more forceful, trust me, be careful. I had no idea what he meant, and I was not about to let some crazy deer get the best of me. He never did tell me what he meant. But 6 years later, I came to fully understand just what he was warning me about. It was 4:30 in the morning. I jumped out of my truck. I applied doe and heat, which is a doe urine from does and estrus that helps draw the bucks in. Onto my boots, I grabbed my gear, and I headed toward my stand, trying to make sure I got there before daylight. It was about 1 p.m. in the afternoon, and I was still in my stand near the graveyard when I saw something about 100 to 150 yards away above the tall palmettos, a dark figure walking straight towards me. Before I put my scope up, I thought it was a man. I noticed it was walking through the palmettos without any problem. And the closer it got, it dawned on me that no man could walk through palmettos like he was. He would not make eye contact with me, and then what seemed like several minutes, which was actually mere seconds, he just disappeared. Then he stepped out behind a tree no more than 30 feet in front of me. It was at this time we made eye contact, and I knew then that he was stalking me, and even more, I realized that this was no man. I was looking into the eyes of Bigfoot. I raised my gun and hollered, "Don't screw with me, I will shoot." And all the time I was filled with fear. To my response, he let out a scream that literally went through me and left my ears ringing. It was as if my body had reacted to a scream. Then he made one leap and became half the distance closer to me. With no time to aim, I pulled the trigger. I just shot. I hit him in the middle upper chest. He dropped to one knee, making noises I've never heard, and he was able to get up, but he had much trouble fleeing back to the deep palmettos from where he had came. He then crashed into the palmettos, and it sounded like a Mack truck had fell from the sky and landed there. I frantically jumped out of my stand and ran out of the woods. I didn't know I could run so fast. And when I had made it to the opening of the field, I instantly turned, dropped on one knee, and looked through the scope to see if he was following me. He was not. So I ran to my truck, peeled out of there, and I was shaking so fiercely with overwhelming fear that I could barely open the farm gate to get out of there. And this encounter left me scarred mentally from that day until now. Thank you for listening to my encounter. And then he closes by saying to my friend Donnie, thank you so sincerely for helping me share my story, and thank you for being my friend and brother. Guys, when I first heard this, encounter from, when he told me, uh, I felt it emotionally. And it's hard to imagine yourself in that situation. And I've seen one of these things. I've seen several of them, but one was very close. And I understand that exact fear that he felt. Um, that's real. And there's nothing on this earth that I can think of that can instill more fear in you than looking into the eyes of one of these things. There's something about their eyes. If they wore sunglasses where you couldn't see them, I don't think it would be half as fearful, but there's just something to their eyes. And it was hurtful for me hearing him recount that story and telling it to me for the first time. He was getting emotional over it, and I was fighting it off. I was seeing it from his eyes as though I was the one there. And I couldn't imagine being in the situation that you have no choice but to pull the trigger. That's horrible. I don't wish to kill anything unless we're providing meat for the family. I don't like to shoot anything. But you can bet your bottom dollar if I get in that situation, the trigger's going to be pulled. It's either me or him, and the situation he was in, he didn't have a choice. That thing was coming after him. And a small one of these creatures, even in the 5-foot range, could easily overpower 2 6-foot men. They're nothing but strength. They got uncanny abilities, and it's just amazing to even think he survived that. But he's living with that. He tried to share it, and the only person besides me that knew of that encounter was his wife, the only one that believed him. And I told him how much help it was for me when I put my story out there. And at first, in the very beginning, I wanted to be anonymous. And I believe it was Holy Spirit that kept putting it on me. For me personally, being anonymous is a story with no name. And that's how it hit me. With his situation, I even told him I highly recommended that he left his name out of it, because there's a lot of people that are going to flip out. These people that think these Sasquatch are just our friendly neighbor, and they're out for our best interest. They're not going to like the idea that he took one out. But he didn't injure that Bigfoot. He shut him down permanently. That was lights out for that one. That and never harm anybody again or attempt to harm anybody. And any of us, including you guys watching this, any of us in that situation, I believe, would absolutely pull the trigger. It's hard to even think about, what was going through his mind sitting there with this thing to make a 15-foot jump and to be right there on top of you, and then continually moving forward, and you have no choice. It's hard. It's hard to think about. And there's going to be a lot of people, a lot of haters on here, and I'm going to get a lot of bad comments, I'm sure, but I'll forgive them. I was never one to post bad stuff to anybody, even before social media. I never knocked nobody. I had a lot of friends that claimed to see UFOs. I had one friend that said he was abducted, and this was back in middle school, junior high. And I thought it was weird. And a few times I was actually jealous, wishing that I was the one that had that encounter. But back in those days, I never heard of Bigfoot. I never heard of Sasquatch. And this man got his first taste of it 30 years ago. And that's just, I don't know how you even process something like that. This was before smartphones, before technology the way that we know it today. In half of a second, you can send a full-blown letter to a friend on the other side of the planet. They can watch you live like what we're doing right now. And during the days that he had that encounter, none of that was possible. If you had a cell phone, it was a bag phone. There wasn't no taking pictures. There just wasn't any of it. So I couldn't imagine him not being able to write his encounter out and post it on Facebook or somewhere anonymous just to get it off his chest. And he never had that outlet. And so I recommended him let me share his story for him. And his name will never be known unless he chooses. If he chooses to come out, I would absolutely have him come on and we'll do a live show with him. But if he doesn't want to do that, then that's good too. It's up to him. It's his story, and if there are repercussions, then he'll have to deal with them. And by staying anonymous, there won't be any. But I wanted to get that out to you. I had such a hard time today trying to record this and get it on video. I kept having glitches in the video from people calling in while I was recording. Friends were calling me, and my sister and several other people. And the video played fine, but the audio would be knocked out while the phone was ringing, which I had do not disturb on, but I didn't put the airplane mode. I didn't know I was supposed to do that. But you'll learn as you go. But if any of y'all have anything that has happened, any type of encounter you want to get off your chest, it doesn't have to be Bigfoot or Sasquatch. If anything's happened and you're living with that emotion and that train wreck that it leaves in your spirit and in your heart, there are thousands of good people on YouTube that would share your encounter. I'd be more than happy to. But there are so many good ones. Cam with Dixie Cryptid, he's probably one of the best out there. That man is amazing. But if you guys have anything you'd like to share, if you have anything you'd like to say to this man, he will be reading the comments. Just please be kind. If you don't have anything nice to say, just don't say anything. It's best that way. Thank you, Tommy. Thank you, buddy. But yeah, we have our friend Kerry with Bigfoot Odyssey. He does really good with the narrations. I subscribe to Bigfoot Odyssey and The Shutter. That's his second channel, and it is awesome. He does a wonderful job narrating. And you guys, if y'all want somewhere to go, an outlet to share your encounter, if you want to go live with somebody, Daniela with Hidden Existence, Carrie with Bigfoot Odyssey, they're wonderful. I mean, just amazing people. And I saw Daniela in the chat earlier. I believe she's still here. But she does a phenomenal job. And you don't have to worry with any errors or anything going wrong with it. I mean, she's professional in what she does. I wing it. And I learned from these other guys. Carrie taught me a lot. And I learned a little bit from watching Daniela. And I've had a lot of input from you guys and from others. And I've been very blessed. But I'd like to ask that you guys that do pray, please pray for my brother. He needs that out of his spirit and out of his heart. He needs to be released from that, because it's bondage when that gets on you. It's absolutely bondage, and it ruined my life for a long time, but not as long as what he's dealt with it. My encounter was in 2011, and his was 30 years ago. I couldn't imagine going that long, having a bad encounter. Hey, Pappy. I thought I seen your name come up earlier. I'm trying to keep up. The comments go by a lot faster than I can read. Hey, Ryan. Good to see you, buddy. Thank you. Thank you, guys. All of you. Andy Gone Fishing. Thank you, my friend. God bless all of you. Thank y'all. Thank you for your support. Y'all are amazing, and it makes the channel that much better. And I was telling my friend whose encounter this is, I was telling him, I watched a lot of different channels when I first started on YouTube just a few years ago, and I honestly believe that this channel, that we probably have more Christians on this channel than I believe any of them. I may be wrong, and I sure am, but the other channels, I'll go and watch the videos and I'll read all the comments. Even though they're not mine, I'll read them. Just my human nature, I'm curious. And I see a lot of filth on a lot of good people, good channels that put out good content, and people reply with just garbage. And I don't understand it. I've received it a few times here, but it's so rare. And if somebody does comment something rude, I never have the opportunity to respond. So many of you guys respond on my behalf, and that's a blessing. I mean, that's an absolute blessing. I've never had friends like you guys in my entire life, and what I have now, the friends I've gained in the channel, is uh, it's a gift. It's an absolute gift. I wish you guys lived closer, but some of y'all are on the other side of the planet where I'd like to be. But unfortunately, we're in the nice, humid, hot, sticky weather of Florida. Uh, yes, Andy, you're absolutely right. There's power in gathering where three or more come in my name. Yeah, Margaret, Cam is wonderful. Absolutely. And yeah, Buckeye Bigfoot, I forgot about him. Norwegian ants. Have any of you seen a Wendigo? Uh, I have not. Somebody commented last year to one of the videos about a Wendigo, but I've never seen one, I don't think. But we got some more videos in the works. I just have to have time to put them together. It takes a little bit of time to edit them and to try to pull out a lot of dead areas. You may go 15 minutes with just nothing but quietness. And to try to cut all that out to where there's something worth watching takes a little bit of time. Yep, Sasquatch Chronicles. Wes from Sasquatch Chronicles was him and Lynn from Bigfoot Case Files were the first two that helped me in the beginning when I was having all the trouble from what I was living with emotionally due to my encounter. Those two done so much for me. It was an awakening on my part, and it was due to them two. And if I would have never have reached out, I talked to Miss Lynn from Bigfoot Case Files, and she lined it up for me to meet with Wes. And we had several conversations before he ever actually interviewed me. And Wes is full of knowledge, full of good information, and the guidance I got from him was a life changer. He was amazing. I'm trying to see some of the comments on here. You have to forgive me, my eyes ain't so good. I got a bigger phone, but evidently I'm gonna have to start carrying a computer monitor so I can see. Well, you guys keep your eyes open. If y'all hear of anything, any other encounters, any stories you'd like to share with me or anyone else, there's a few of the other people that I can get in touch with that I know that I can help you get your stories out. It doesn't have to be me, but if you've had encounters with Sasquatch or any of these things that are starting to show up on a regular basis, if you've had any bad encounters and you want to share it, there's so many outlets here on YouTube. Just pick one, watch their videos, just kind of watch them for a little while to make sure you're putting it on a safe platform. Get it out. There's so many people that need to understand that these things can be extremely dangerous. And you get a teenager out there first year hunting with a 22 rifle and squirrel hunting, and he comes across one that could be bad. Hey, Tracy. Oh, good deal. Good deal. But if you guys would like to email me with any encounter, any stories, if you just want to say hello, my email address is standinggoatsrescue@outlook.com. standinggoatsrescue@outlook.com. I try to check it often. I'm sort of on and off on the phone throughout the day. I keep my hands full with these guys. We got so many of them. And we got one she got hit with something. We thought it was a snake bite, but it's too high. And so we're trying to monitor her and It's going down, but it's a lot of antibiotics. We finished off a bottle of penicillin on her, but she's doing better. But this is probably 14 hours a day that I have to put into these guys. And then come hunting season, then Kim takes over the majority of the load to where I'm able to go out into the woods and put meat in the freezer. Let's see if most of them are hanging out. I don't want to cut it off. Yes, Andy, we have milked some of them. We're not doing it right now because we have babies that are still milking. But yes, we have. Absolutely. The camera may get a little jerky. I'm going to try to move it slow. I want to show you some of these guys where they're resting. They look so peaceful and good-hearted and no trouble while they're asleep. It's when they wake up that everything hits the fan. This right here is a Goomba. He's one of the biggest. Goomba's around 220 pounds. He's a big boy. He was a rescue. He's going to sleep. And there's Big Girl. She's a Nubian. We got her from a friend. And, of course, many of you guys know Belle. This is Belle. She's the matriarch. That's Large Marge. And there's Louie. All of these are really big goats. I mean, if you can see, he's up to my waist. He's a big boy. But these goats are our family. We love them. I couldn't see life without them, to be honest with you. It's just like having a science project around all the time. They're always doing something that amazes us. But they also tear up a lot of stuff. Well, these glasses ain't good for walking. But if you guys have any questions for me, I've overlooked probably 90% of the comments that popped up in the chat. And I apologize for that. I cannot keep up with them. I'm doing this off a phone screen because we don't have a computer. I'm debating on getting a tablet to where I do go live. I'll have a way to read the comments while we're filming. That's what I'm hoping for in the near future. But whatever comments you have, I will be responding to them. When I close this out, I'll go and put on a dry shirt. It's hot and humid and I'm sweating. Ciao, Belle. Ciao, girl. You gotta let me get by. The goats are wanting affection. They're very, very affectionate. Especially this girl right here. This is Belle. Oh, she knocks me around. And an update while I got you on. I wanted to show you guys something. I didn't mention nothing about it, but we've been getting booms. The house, it's just a really loud, bassy, it's a boom. It's like a thunder boom at night. And it normally starts, according to Kim, around midnight, but I haven't heard it. And about 5 nights ago, I got up a little after 2 o'clock in the morning. The puppy had to go out. And I got up to take her out, and I heard a boom. And it's not loud enough that the house shakes, but you can feel it. And it sounds like it's coming from a wall. But I came out, this was 3 or 4 nights in a row, and I came out looking for tracks, but there's so many goat tracks in the yard. The yard's covered with them. I couldn't see anything. But I thought somebody was by the window. I don't think you're going to be able to see it now. I may have to do this during the daytime. I got to turn the phone around. On the wall, it looks like 2 fingers, maybe. It's not dirt. I don't know what it is, but it's something like a handprint. And I just can't touch the bottom of it, so a person can easily do this. But it's just, it's pretty large. Let me see if I can hold it up where you guys can see it. Right there. It looks like 2 fingerprints. Let me see if I can hold this steady. don't know if you guys can see that or not. I don't know how well it showed up, but I looked on this side, and this is the window. This is the bathroom window for our bathroom. And there's this one I can touch pretty easy. Right here, that's sand, but there's sand on it right here. But I could not make out a handprint. The other side, that left side, looks like a partial handprint, like half of a hand, 2 fingers. I'll try to get a little clip of it during the day tomorrow. But the game cameras just arrived today. They came earlier, around 11 o'clock this morning. They were due to be here on Monday. And while I got this live, it was Mark from Livewire helped me out with the cameras. And we're going to post them. I was going to do it tonight, but I've spent about an hour and a half trying to get the video to record properly, and I couldn't get it, so I decided to go live. But we've got to put cameras up on this end, somewhere down here, to keep them things away from the house, and then we're going to put 2 up at the other end of the house. That wooded area is where we're having the trouble at, and I'm hoping the infrared from the cameras would get them run off. But we've got a pretty good bit of stuff coming, and Mark from Livewire has helped us out tremendously. If you guys don't know him, please go check him out. It's Livewire, one word, on YouTube, Livewire, and he's got some just extremely fascinating stuff that he's caught. He just posted a video, I think it was last night, and one part of it looks like something black darts by on the left side of the screen really fast. And we caught something like that out here. But I was filming, I was watching over the camera with my eyes, and I could see really well. And I did about a 20 or 30 second clip. And when I went in a couple days later, when I actually looked at it, there was a black shadow, and it looks upright. It looks like a person, but the speed was just, it was too fast for an animal or a person, which it could just be the matrixing from the camera, because I did not see nothing with my eyes, and I should have, but I didn't. You all right, buddy? Big boy woke up from his nap. Oh. Well, guys, thank you all so much for being here. This is the first live stream that I've done using YouTube's mobile live stream, and it seems to work a lot better than that Streamlabs, the app that I was using, because I didn't have enough subscribers. And I believe this is going to work. I'm going to go back. I did film some this past weekend from the area where we've gotten a lot of our activity at. Kim and I went up there, and we've done about a mile walk total, and we got a couple of tracks, nothing really impressive. There were, I think, 3 footprints that you could make out toes in the hill, but other than that, there wasn't a whole lot that we seen. We heard a couple of weird whistles, but that's kind of the norm up there. But I'm going to try to do a live stream here very soon in that area, and it looks to be working really well. I've got to figure it out. There's a few buttons on here, I don't know what they do, and I don't want to mess with it while I have you guys on live. I don't want to knock it out, but it seems to be good. Robert, thank you. But you guys, if there's anything, if y'all have any recommendations or advice for me or for the man whose encounter I read tonight, post it in the comments. He should be reading all of them on here. I notified him to let him know that I was going to do it live. He won't be partaking in the comments, but he will be reading them. So if you have any prayers for him or anything, just please send them his way. the Lord's got me on the path I'm supposed to be on, and I've got a lot of support from you guys. And he's new in this arena as far as getting help, and the majority of my help came from y'all. And I believe that he can experience wonders through prayer and through advice, and just through the kind words that you guys share. But I'm fixing to cut this off. Let me give you a quick look at all the children before I shut it down. What is that, girl? That's Daisy. And there's Belle. You ready to go to sleep, gal? Everybody's getting calmed down. They're getting ready for nighttime. So we got a lot of lights we got to go get kicked on. Hey, Sophie. Hey, girl. And there's the big boys. Hey, Goomba. Hey, Louie. Hey, buddy. You all right? And you can't bite the phone. All right, big boy. Guys, thank y'all for joining me. And if y'all have any recommendations, advice, if you have anything for me, or if there's anything I can do for you, please comment or email me at standinggoatsrescue@outlook.com, and I will reply to you just as soon as I possibly can. I think we're fixing to lose daylight out here, but I'm going to go inside and get out of these bugs and put on a dry shirt. Thank y'all for being here with me. God bless you, and until next time, you guys be safe. Do you want to see you? You want to see little girl? You don't know what that is, do you? I know it. Okay, hold on. Uh-oh. I don't know what I just done.